Ravi first noticed it on a quiet afternoon. He was walking home from school, his bag heavy on his back, when he caught something odd out of the corner of his eyes, his shadow. It wasn't quite right. The sun was behind him, so his shadow should have stretched forward. But instead, it moved sideways, shifting unnaturally as if it had a mind of its own. He stopped. His shadow didn't. He took one more step before realizing he wasn't moving, then snapped back into place. Ravi's heart pounded. Maybe he was imagining things. Maybe it was just the wind or a trick of the light. But then the shadow twitched again. This time it waved. Ravi ran. He sprinted down the street, not daring to look back. Bursting into his house and slamming the doors shut, his breath came in gasps as he pressed his back against the wooden surface. Slowly, he glanced down. His shadow was beneath him, perfectly normal. Had he imagined it? Shaking his head, Ravi went about his evening, pushing the thought aside. But that night, as he lay in bed, he saw it again. The dim glow of the street lamp outside cast a faint shadow of him onto the wall. At first, it was still. But then it moved. Ravi froze. The shadow lifted its hand and pointed toward the window. A chill crawled down his spine. "What do you want?" he whispered. The shadow pointed again. This time, the message was clear. "Follow me," against every ounce of logic, screaming to him to hide under the blanket. Ravi climbed out of bed. The moment his feet touched the floor, his shadow slithered forward, gliding ahead of him. It led him to the window. Outside, the street was bathed in pale moonlight. Eerily quiet. The shadow waited expectant. Ravi hesitated, then opened the window and climbed down the ledge. As soon as he touched the ground, the shadow darted ahead. It moved faster than a normal shadow should, stretching unnaturally around corners and slipping through gaps where no light touched. It led him to an abandoned house at the edge of town. Ravi's stomach twisted with unease. He had always avoided this place. It was rumored to be haunted. His shadow slid under the door. Ravi swallowed hard. Then with trembling fingers, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was heavy, thick with dust and something else, something ancient. And then he saw them. Shadows, dozens of them, but there was no people, only the shadows. Standing, shifting, watching. His own shadow moved forward, blending into them, becoming one of them. A whisper filled the air, like voices speaking from the walls. You are one of us now! Ravi turned to run. The door was gone, and then he realized he no longer had a shadow. Don't blink in the forest. It was supposed to be a weekend hike, just another trip into the woods to clear his head. But Alex soon learned that his forest was different. He noticed the whispers the moment he entered, but it wasn't the wind. It was watching. The trees seemed to shift. The air felt thicker, heavier. He ignored it, but then came the warnings. Don't blink, a voice echoed, faint yet unmistakable. He looked around. No one was there. A few more steps and he heard it. Again, this time louder. Don't blink! A rustle in the bushes caught his attention and he turned just in time to see nothing. The path stretched ahead as it always had. Empty and still. But then he realized something. He hadn't blinked since hearing the warning. His eyes burned, they watered. His vision began to blur. Another step forward, and the whisper came once more. This time, frantic, almost panicked. Don't blink. His body screamed for rest, but Alex knew if he blinked, it would move. The creature in the forest, it only moved when you weren't looking. Alex forced his eyes wide open, willing himself not to blink, but he couldn't go on. Like this forever. His skin was dry. His eyelids felt like they were made of stone. He stumbled. Trying to move faster, but the shadows shifted in ways that made his skin crawl. The whispers got louder, surrounding him. He could hear it now. Something moving behind him, just out of sight. He could not blink. With his last ounce of strength, Alex ran, eyes stinging, heart pounding, but when he finally reached the edge of the forest, he collapsed in the clearing. The thing was right behind him, and it whispered in his ear, "You blinked." The roommate in 3B. When Kalia moved into apartment 3C, the landlord warned her not to knock at 3B's door. "Place my empty," he said. "Just leave it alone." She assumed it was under renovation. Until she started hearing footsteps from the other side. At first, it was just at night. Soft, slow pacing, then came the tapping, always in threes. Tap, tap, tap. One night, she tapped back. Tap, tap, tap. A reply, tap, tap, tap. She pressed her ear to the wall and whispered, "Hello?" A voice whispered back, low and wet, "Found you." Kalia jumped away. The next day, she asked the landlord again. "I told you it's empty," he said, avoiding her eyes. No one's lived there since. He trailed off. That night, she dreamed of the door to 3B. It was open. Inside the walls pulsed like lungs. A shadow sat cross-legged, smiling with too many teeth. She woke up screaming. But the worst came the next evening. There was a knock at the door. She looked through the peephole. No one there. Then, tap, tap, tap. But not from the hallway, from inside her apartment. She turned slowly. There, standing in her kitchen, was a man. Or what had once been a man. He was thin, sunken, with a stitched mouth and rotting skin. In one hand, he held a key. Roommates, he rasped, we always share. Kalia ran. The door wouldn't open. The windows wouldn't budge. He tapped on the wall again, smiling. Your turn in 3B. By morning, the apartment was empty. The landlord shrugged as he had handed a new tenant the key to 3C. Just don't knock on 3B, he said. Why not? The new girl asked. He smiled weakly. Bad neighbor. The second birthday. It started with the envelope, plain, no return address, on Lily's doorstep. Inside was a single card, Happy Birthday. But it wasn't Lily's birthday, not for another 6 months. She tossed the card aside, thinking it was a mistake. The next morning, another envelope, same handwriting, same plain card, Happy Birthday, Lily. This time, it included a photo, Lily asleep in her room, taken from the foot of her bed. Her blood ran cold. She lived alone. She called the police. They searched her apartment. Nothing. They told her it was probably a sick joke. The next day, another card. Blow out the candles before they blow you out. No photo, just wax. Red wax smeared inside the envelope. Or maybe it wasn't wax at all. Lily didn't sleep that night. The fourth day, no card came. Instead, her lights flickered. Her TV turned on by itself, showing static. Then an image broke through a grainy party. Balloons. A cake. A girl that looked exactly like her, smiling wide, surrounded by strangers with blank faces. Lily screamed and yanked the cord from the wall. The screen stayed on. A voice whispered from the TV, "Time to make a wish." The lights died. The static fell silent, and from the hallway, someone began to sing, off-key, slow, a birthday song. But not for the birthday she knew. When police entered Lily's apartment the next day, everything was normal except for a cake sitting perfectly on her kitchen table. 6 candles melted down to ash, and the message written in the reds rising, "Happy second birthday, Lily." They never found her.